Peer review, I hope most of you might have been affected with, and the technical review is a balance sheet is selected by the institute. A balance sheet, most probably a listed balance sheet, is selected by the institute and then sends it to a technical reviewer who is empaneled there as a technical reviewer. Within 15 days, he has to offer his comments. We have looked into one balance sheet. There are 60 errors committed by the company as well as the auditor. What happens? We have to send that report to the institute. The institute will take action or ask for the questions whether these things are correct or not. Meaning, we have to go line by line of the revised schedule 6, whether line by line has been followed properly or not, or accounting standards, auditing standards, clause 41, blah blah blah, all those things, write it. Institute will take an action on the chartered accountant, the MCA will take an action on the corporates. This is the technical review, peer review, technical review. Third one is the quality review. One chartered accountant will fly into your office one fine morning and says, you have done palana PSU audit, please show me the documentation. And he'll come with 550 questions. Believe me, 550 questions will come and he'll start asking how did you deal with it, and he has to offer his comments there, not like yes, no, not applicable. So there are 3 ways of information now being gathered by the institute. One, that is one issue from the point of standards, one thing. Okay, I am not doing such kind of PSU audit, I am not doing listed company audits, who will catch me? Technology. You all know the tax audits now is filed on the net. So what? I have been filing manual, now I will file net, so what? The stock statements that we feed in, most of the cases zeros, don't enter anything, then system will read as 0, so what? Tax audit, stock statement says 0, that tax audit is uploaded from my IP address, and the same IP address ITR 4 and 6 is uploaded, wherein purchases you have a numerical value, amount, stock you have value. How will CPC read both of these now? Immediately we don't have anything, because immediately when 4 years back when ETD's returns were computerized, no threat was there at that time. But you see now, the moment it is uploaded, next day you get a tsunami of notices. Pay 200, 300, 1 rupee is difference, 5 rupees is difference. So technology is watching people now. Under that scenario, I am now worried about these auditing standards. Moreover, 2013 says account auditing standards are also mandatory, and this has been brought into the Companies Act. More dangerous. And more particularly, I am worried about SA 315 because it says director has to make a statement that the financial controls are working proper. Mind you, SA 700 has been amended now. It says chartered accountant also has to say that the corporates are following financial controls properly. Sir, 80% of the time it is tally which is ruling. Sir, what controls do you have in tally? Is purchase voucher generated by the tally, or first a voucher is generated and then entered into the tally? Sir, we are know with us. First transaction takes place, then you take that voucher, then you feed it into the tally. Instead of 10, I write 50. Is there a reconciliation? No. Look at the IRCTC. Ticket is allotted, then the ticket is printed. There are controls. Do you have such kind of controls in CBS? First, a sanction letter is generated in Word or Excel, and then that figures pass on into the CBS. Is there a validation control? Kuntal Shah was loudly talking about no validation controls. I've just shown you now here. He is a businessman. I'll write here occupation as agriculturist. It will have a bearing on NPA recognition. Over. Are we checking this? Why should I do this? I again say SA 315 says that I need to do this. Do I have a time? I need to pull out time. I need to tell the branch manager maybe I have to do audit in 3 days, but let me do all these things. On a sample basis, take 3 or 4. But it's not that only one chartered accountant goes for bank audit, no? A team of people go there. 3 or 4 people go there. One article student, ask him to go on doing this. I have anyhow circulated these documents to you on a CD. Tell them this is how the screens, and then we need to have this. Not the only, this bank audit seminar is not an yearly one to be done on only one day. It's not like a festival. Only one day we celebrate it. No. Before we go to a bank audit, students needs to be trained, because it is the student who does all this. It's not the chartered accountant's job, it's the student's job. We need to educate them before we go on. How should I educate? I don't have a finacle. You take this. It's been circulated to you. Let them sit there. Let them take their study material. Study material is full of internal controls. It talks about input control, process control, validation controls. Let the students understand this. And let one student sit in the bank and ask 3 or 4 questions and make out the samplings and then start writing a report. 3 or 4 students can do this. But if one chartered accountant goes, then it's just a honeymoon audit. You are visiting in-laws house. The moment you go there, what will he do? He gives tea. The moment you finish tea, coconut water. You finish that, again a buttermilk. After that, a cool drink. By the time you have a lunch, then he feeds you up to 2:30, 3 o'clock. Then over. Stomach upset. Where is the audit? But I say at least 3 or 4 should go. What 1 has to do, what 2 has to do, what 3 has to do, well programmed. Why I am saying that much is, who says that I have to plan? SA 300 says I need to plan. I need to plan. SA 315 says I need to understand. SA 530 says I need to take sampling. And by doing all these things, I have to document. SF 230 says I need to document this. So these are audit means as per standards. And well has been said about these things. Now he has also talked about the data extractions from Finacle. He was telling about, I'll just show you how to extract, where to type. He was talking about some commands needs to be typed. I have given the screenshots of both banks at NCS, that is banks, and then Finacle screenshot. This is where he was talking about what to type here. Menu. For Andhra Bank it is AB Rep, Vijaya Bank, VB Rep, and each bank has its own name. You can type here. And this document is well within the CD. Now you type this, then what happens is it comes, next screen comes like this. It starts module name. What is the module you wanted to check? I don't know what modules are there in it. Don't worry, it says you just press F4 and F2. What has to be used I have just given here. So with that, module name comes. Below that, what should I type? Report name. He was talking about 900 reports, 300 reports, 400 reports. Yes, these are the report names. And this document is also made available to you. Menu to auditors. But among these 400 reports or 341 reports, how do I remember? Kuntal Shah is very advanced. He day in and day out, he inhales and exhales commands. You could have seen the way in which the commands are coming out. The commands that we know in Tally F1, F2, F3, F4, F5, F6, F7. That's all we know. But you can just look at. But how do I do this? All that is put into Excel, and then what is that you want now? TDS. Okay, you want to see the TDS reports? Contains TDS. These are all the TDS related reports. And then come back to the screen here. Type here, you want a TDS report. No, at this place, you type this TDS REP. Then that report will open. It doesn't open just like that. Then it goes on, it will ask sole ID. Meaning what? Sitting in Calcutta, you can generate Malaysia branch TDS report also. This is very critical. Sir, this is very critical from the chartered accountant's occupation point of view, the avenues point of view, opportunities point of view. This is very dangerous one. And this is the only reason why SBI now batting on the chartered accountant. It says, why should I have 10,000 chartered accountants for my bank when ICICI, HDFC, all these private banks, only 5, 6, 7, 10 auditors are there. Why do you rub 10,000 auditors on me? And that's the reason why RBI has said, okay, from 60 lakhs, earlier 60 has been made 1.5 crore, below that no audit. Then 6 crores below that no audit. Now it is 20 crores no audit. In next 3-4 years it is 50 crores below that no audit. Their target is to see 100 crores below that no audit. Okay, then what happens? We have 85 to 90% of firms as proprietor and partnerships. Partnerships of not more than 2. All these firms will stop getting bank audits because 100 crores and above, how many branches will be there? Now you know RBI has given a full rights to the board of directors to appoint their own auditors on their own terms. It will come in the days to come now. Then he says whoever has 5 firms and above, only I'll select 100 crores and above audits. Because below that, one person cannot go and do the 100 crores and bank audit. So we say more than that only is eligible. Then what happens? This is the critical thing which is going to decide now the future of bank audits. We need to be prepared for it. We need to network more on these sites. Now this is about this. Now after this, what happens? It will ask for, do you need a printout? Do you need a printout or a background? Or on a forefront? Like when you go into Tally, gateway of Tally, press B, balance sheet opens. Then you can, somewhere you have at this place, you can export into Excel. That facility is not there in CBS. At the max, what it does is it will generate the report what is available on the screen. The same report will be available on a text file. What is the disadvantage of seeing a report on the screen? The disadvantage of seeing a report on the screen is it will have 30 or 40 lines or 7 lines, that's all. And next 7 lines I have to read it. If I have to read the next 7 lines, I have to use control down arrow. Instead of that, I am well versed using MS Office tools. For the next screen, I always use enter. I press accidentally enter. The report vanishes. And again, I have to struggle these 3 or 4 slides to generate that report. By the time the connection may also go. You might have seen this. Most of the time, the CBS doesn't work in the branches. Network problem. Systems problem, server problem. That is more during the first week of April, maybe wantedly also. Now in that case, when you are able to get this, generate the file, text file. When you say here background, then a text file generates and then it will be saved somewhere as .rpt here. Now I don't know where this has saved. I am not a tech savvy to understand all this. Don't bother. Just go on to the system here and then type *.rpt. Then the files that are there with RPT will just open up. How do I recognize the file that has been just opened? Look at the date here and look at the date here, system date. The file with the same system date is the date that you have generated. It's as simple as this. Now start opening that report and then make your analysis. Over. Now in that way, you can extract reports. And this is how you can make a documentation of it. What I say is, what I suggest is, whenever you go for a bank audit now, let your students start taking, like me, I have done a print screen here. I have done it for Andhra Bank. Maybe there may be, you may get a Canara Bank or you may get some other banks. In that case, how to generate a report? Let us make a screenshots like this and start writing like this. The advantage is, probably you might have got Bhubaneswar audit or somewhere in Lucknow audit, something like that. By the time your team goes to Lucknow, your team at Bhubaneswar has already done this job for you. They need not beg, borrow from the branch manager. We waste a lot of time for the sake of reports. He says server not working, connections are not there. The person who generates the report has gone to chest, only that day he will go to chest. The instruction not to come back till the auditors have gone. And there is only one person sitting there for the reports. Why should I rely on someone? When I have already done this in Bhubaneswar, why should I sit? Now let the Bhubaneswar staff do this again clearly. Send that to the WhatsApp. Not even mail, because banks doesn't have a mail. I don't have an internet connection there in the branch. Let us use WhatsApp for that. But many a time WhatsApp is used to send Priyanka Chopra photos and then Deepika Padukone photos and all are shared rather than these documents. Let's try to use technology for that purposes. Let us share. Now by the time you go there, you open this document and start working on you. Now you may say that no, branch manager is not giving me an ID. Branch manager is saying that auditors doesn't have an ID. I feel many chartered accountants believe that auditors doesn't have a ID means auditors are believing it. So don't believe this. Branch managers behave in such a way as if CBS is his wife, no one should touch it. Very sorry. Look at here, auditor's power is 350 and 360. It's a customer power is 25. I as a customer on banking, internet banking, my power is just 25, meaning I can enter into, I can change my password, I can generate my internet account, bank account statement, then I can make payments. I have 4 user privileges as 25 power. Look at the branch manager's power 900. Look at the chairman and managing director power 800, less than the branch manager. Now branch manager is a king. Absolute power is a corrupt policeman, judiciary system. Here, the branch manager. Chartered accountant, yes, he has a power. Then what should I do? When the moment you get an appointment letter from the branch, from the bank, write a letter to him. Let us try to make a detailed audit program before we go there. Nothing wrong. Let it get 2-3 days wasted. Anyhow, in the audit report, I am saying that I have got all the informations and explanations. I am making a report, I am making a statement in the bank audit that I got all the informations and explanations from the bank. Did I able to get it? Truly speaking? No. Then how am I saying that I am getting all the information and explanation? So I say here, audit letters, audit engagement letter. Make it as an audit tool, a folder. Keep it ready the moment you get an appointment letter. Let us make all these things. Now anyhow students are free now. They don't have any audits now. Persons who are writing final exam, not the IPCC now, they are sitting in the office idle. Now in the same way, requirement letter, send this letter to him. What are all the things that you want? You can just see here. In order to enable me to finalize the audit program, furnish report on the audit of accounts and so on. So may we request you to keep these things ready. I am making him to commit. When is this written? This letter is written on 29th March. Before I go there, I am asking him to please confirm that these things are ready with you. Only then I will book my ticket and come. Answer to this. If GM calls, if CMD calls, why audit is not happening? I have already sent a letter, no information to me. And still pressure is there, issue disclaimer that I don't get any information, so I don't express any opinion at all. I don't rely on this. Or else provide me the information. We have the institute, the guidance note or the standards have given every power to us. Why should we go down? So what I am trying to say here is these are all part of SA. These are all the parts of SA 300, audit planning. If one chartered accountant does it, everyone can share it. If one can sit and do it, or a group of people can sit and do it, And then after that, if a group of another chartered accountant vets it, all the chartered accountant community can share this. And that's what now the guidance note is. You find a acceptance letter is there. Audit program, a detailed audit program has been given now in the guidance note. That is available on the net. You can download it. It's not anyone's grandfather's property. Everyone can download it. Just take a print out of it, or you convert that into Word. Start using it, and it's so detailed. It says the advances. Who will do this job? Article 1, 2, 3, and who has verified it? And such a detailed list has been developed now. We can use it and start putting it. Now these are the audit engagement letters and so on and so on. Now coming back to this again. I said generating a report. Once through this process you generate a report. Through this process you generate a report. Convert that into Excel. The point what I am again trying to reiterate again and again is, when you go for a new environment, maybe it is an SAP, maybe it is Oracle, maybe it is banks at NCS, anyone. Try to take the screenshots like this and then try to make a notes like this so that it is useful to anyone. And we can exchange these documents. Today I get Andhra Bank, maybe you get a Dena Bank. Let us exchange that for the next year. So that the power, the knowledge is well shared and the audit becomes easy for us. Now, once this is over, now I can take up, I can convert that into an Excel. Okay. Before that, let us try to see here. I have given you, what I am trying to do is, I am trying to explain all the files that I have shared with you. This is one file in MS Word which talks about where Excel can be used in reporting. First question is talking about cash. What is that I need to express in cash? Does the branch generally carry cash balances which vary significantly from the limit fixed by the controlling authorities? Whether excess balances have been reported. Meaning I have to see how many days the cash is exceeding. Is it continuously exceeding? How many times? On an average, what is the cash balance? I have to do it. So, our friend Kuntal has already talked about the file. I just now display the content of that file and how to make an analysis. This is a cash balance file. This is cash balance file. With date, debit, credit and closing balance. Now looking at this, I should be able to say whether the limit is exceeded or not. Continuously exceeding, or how many days it is exceeding, whether it has been reported or not. By looking at this, I have to say. It will be something like out of 365 days, if 40 days is removed, maybe 200 and odd days the bank will be working. On those days, the cash balance is given. I have to convert this into Excel. Control A. Since I have already opened this account, I just say Control A, Control C, select and then copy. Then I go into an Excel. At cell A1, I try to copy this. Now I have to convert this into Excel rows and columns, that is date in one column. You can just now see date is not in one column. All this content is in one column. Let us see this. All this is in one column called A20. What I want is date in one column, debit in one, credit in one and balance in one column. I need it. So what I do, I select on A and then I go into data, text to columns, fixed width, save, next. And by doing this, now you can observe here, the system has already cut the data into date, debit, credit and balance. But only thing what I need to do here is I have to ensure that this is not unreasonably cutting the data here. There's a lot of space here. I just move this line towards the side, holding with mouse, and then I just say next. When I say next, it is asking what is this column? Is it a general column or a date column, text column? No, it's a date column. And how is it date? This is date, month and year. You have various options here. If it is FlexiCube, it is month, date and year you have. You want to convert that month, date and year to date, month and year, you can use this facility to do that. I am doing now date, month and year. Now just say finish. It is converted into date now. And all this. I don't need this column. Right click, delete. And you have various, for every line, for every date there is a gap here. Why should I have this? Instead of that, what I do is, these lines doesn't have any value, so I just remove this, delete. And up to this I don't have any value, including opening. I just delete this. Now I want all the dates in an order excluding the lines. So what I do is I just select Control Shift and select all, sort on date. Now what happens, all the dates, it will come into one place, and if you observe at the last point of it, some junk gets accumulated. Let us remove all this junk which has no value. Control Shift and delete, Control Home. Now you are here. Now what is our activity now? What is that LFAR saying here? LFAR is saying is significantly varying. Let us take, say for example, the limit here is 25 lakhs is equal to, let me write here, check, is equal to if is this balance greater than 25 lakhs. That is the limit. I am using if. When I am writing if, you can just see your system is prompting you to put a comma here, so comma. You are writing a formula on a system will understand a formula as per a procedure, meaning that is called as a syntax. The syntax in ITR 1 to 6 for PAN number is it should have 10 digits, it should starting with so and so, so and so, so and so. And you type 11 digit PAN number, system says get out. The syntax in ITR 1 to 6 is wherever amounts are there, you can't put a digit there and use decimals there. System doesn't accept. Syntax. These syntaxes are rules, methods, procedures and standards. Meaning what? Wherever technology will now come into, it will come with rules, methods, procedures, standards and systems that may suffocate chartered accountants. It has suffocated when 2006 ITRs were introduced. We have suffocated